North Idaho College proudly presents NIC Today, an informational news magazine that highlights the people, programs, and campus life at North Idaho College and the surrounding community. And now, your host and moderator, President of North Idaho College, Dr. Priscilla Bell.
Hello and welcome to NIC Today, the show that keeps you informed about the people, the events, and the programs at your community college. I'm Priscilla Bell, the president of NIC and the host for this program. I'm delighted today to introduce our excellent student leaders. At North Idaho College, we pride ourselves on being student-centered, and every day we strive to include students and their perspectives in the many decisions that we have to make. On today's program, you're going to meet two of our student leaders. They'll be talking about student government and the many projects that student government is undertaking this year. In addition, they'll talk about some of the great projects that our student leaders from past years undertook in order to really enhance the vitality of the campus. Joining me today for this program is Mark Browning, the Vice President for Community Relations and Marketing. Mark, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, President Bell. I appreciate the opportunity, and it is really just an honor to be here today to sit with these student leaders and with one of our fellow vice presidents today to talk about the great work that's going on campus and just how large of role that the students play in everything we do in our total operation here at North Idaho College, from not only student tuition and fees, but how we make decisions that impact the students. And it's the very reason that the college exists is for the students to prepare them for the future. So let's make some introductions and meet the people who are around the table. I'm going to start to my right with Vice President for Student Services, Sheldon Nord, who is joining us today. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be here.
Also on the other side of the table, we have both our current president and student body vice president. First, I want to start with Chloe VanZandt. Chloe, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And we have Corinne van Ostrand, who is our vice president for ASNIC. Thank you for being here today. Well, we've made the introductions. Let's get started, but I'd like everybody at home to get to know you a little bit better. So, Chloe, I want to start with you and just give us a little background, where you're from and how you came to be here at NIC.
All right. I grew up in Rathdrum, Idaho. I went to Lakeland High School. I graduated in 2010. And I chose NIC because it was close to home and affordable, and I didn't want to leave the Coeur d'Alene area. So this is my third semester at NIC, and I am studying a general program, Associate of Arts, and then I hope to move on to Boise State University.
Very good, and really that base that you're looking for leading you into that 2+2, so you can go on to a 4-year.
Yep.
Very good, awesome. Corinne, tell me a little bit about you and where you're from and how you arrived here on campus.
All right, well, I lived in Post Falls all my life, and I graduated in 2011 from Christian Center School. And I chose NIC because I knew that's where I was supposed to be, close to my family, and it's very wise financially. And this is almost, I'm finishing my first year here at NIC, and I'm studying dietetics, and I hope to transfer to Seattle Pacific University, where they have like a really great dietetics program there. So
very good. Great that you can stay close to home and be close to your family. I know with one in school who is away from family, that's very important, so good for you. You know, this is the portion of the program where I have to go into true confessions, because as much as I enjoy my position, I don't get to work with the students as much as my guest to my right does. And Sheldon, as VP of Student Services, you see every day how these students work to transition to goals, and from the goals that they set educationally to try to translate those into where they're going. Give us a little bit about how your department's organized, and then how you work with the students and how the entire organization develops.
Okay. Mark, I just feel like I am extremely blessed. I can't believe most days that I get paid what I do to get to work with students that challenge my thinking. They're so smart, they have such creative ideas, and it really, I think, keeps me young and on my toes. And I just find great joy in the work that I have to do with students. One of the things that we acknowledge at NIC is that we know a whole lot of learning takes place outside the classroom. As I look back on my college experience 30-some years ago, I don't necessarily remember a lot of the subject matter or the information. I do remember being in the hallway of the residence hall at 2 in the morning trying to figure out what a professor wanted for an assignment, or how to make sense of something that we were studying in our History of Western Civilization class. Or it's some of those relationships and some of those out of the classroom learning that I really have the fondest memories about. And one of the things that we desire to do with the Chloe and the Corinnes and the other student leaders on campus is recognize that they bring a lot to the table. They enhance NIC the more we can get them involved. And it also helps them enhance the richness of their educational experience. Let me give you an example. When they're involved in student government, they're learning a lot of transferable skills. They're learning how to work with others. They're learning about interpersonal skills. This experience for these two young ladies today is a learning experience, and it gets them out of their comfort zone, and it's a new experience, but it's something that will prepare them better for things in their life later on, whether it's related to their community service or their job or whatever it might be. They learn delegation skills, leadership skills, how to win well, how to lose well, how to have conflict resolution, how to agree and disagree with people. And these are a lot of things that I see in our society people are lacking. And I get pretty excited about the future of this region and this community, knowing that students like these two young ladies are learning these transferable skills that will serve our communities well.
How do you take those skills then that they pick up through their participation in student government or clubs or whatever it might be, and then how do you get that input back in so that we can then integrate it back into the operation?
Good question. One of the things that's increasingly important in post-secondary education is that you document the learning that's taking place. We talk about assessment and student learning outcomes. So we talk about these transferable skills that they might be learning. We need to show that we're demonstrating their learning leadership skills and they're learning interpersonal skills and so on. So we have learning outcomes that we work with our staff on so that we can demonstrate these programs make a difference in students' lives. They're just not a lot of fun, or they're not something that you do to keep students busy. It's really educationally meaningful activities, and we can document that through these student learning outcomes.
You know, you talk about the busy work. Students, you are busy. I mean, you have full class loads, and then you take on this additional responsibility of student government. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, what was it that motivated you to say, hey, I want to take on more work while I'm here already with a full class load?
Well, for me personally, I was a part of the Student Events Board last year, and it was a blast. We planned so many events, whether it was speed dating or comedians or musicians, but it was also being a part of ASNIC and student government, and I realized that I just wanted to be a part of something different, the more political side, the more government side. First and foremost, I just love NIC so much. It's so perfect in so many ways. I love everything about the college, that it's a community college, everything about Coeur d'Alene, and so I wanted to be involved. And then besides that was just everything Sheldon was saying, all the skills it gives you of balancing our budget and reporting to the Board of Trustees, or being on search committees, or being on long-range envisioning and planning committee, just all of those things, and learning just leadership skills for myself and learning how to help other students develop those. It's been truly a great experience.
Corinne, for you, was a lot of what the students get involved with are student clubs. And not everybody is involved in the Senate, but there are a number of clubs, and we have new clubs that are forming. And tell me a little bit about some of the new clubs that are coming on, and some of the intra-councils and those types of things.
Yeah, I love these students who want to get involved with just the campus, and that's what they're pretty much doing here, is creating clubs to get involved and reach out to other kids that enjoy doing the same thing that they like to do. And I love that that NIC gives that opportunity, and I love that I'm involved with that. But pretty much this next week we're having a club fair where they get to have their table in the sub, and when students walk in, they're like, oh, look, there's a paintball club. I really love to paintball. So they go over there and they get all the information and get signed up, and just that's where a great place for students to get connected with each other, and just the great atmosphere of friendship and just like a close bondage that we have at NIC.
I sometimes, Sheldon, I get a little envious of the students because they have all these great activities and these great clubs. I'm like, yeah, they need something for, you know, the more mature audiences. But, you know, Chloe, you guys have had a lot of activities. You mentioned the comedian and speed dating. What are some of the other things that you guys have put forward?
Our main goal is really just to provide as much as we can for students. So every Friday at noon we offer a free snack where the students can just come and...
We need to get in on that.
Exactly, it's great. Where students can come and meet their ASNIC student government and just see what's going on. We also help outdoor pursuits, and they have so many awesome trips. I think tomorrow they're going telemark skiing, and so just some great opportunities. Also, we do something for Earth Day every year, just a Go Green initiative to show that we care about sustainability. We also provide legal assistance for students if they need it, or some student crisis relief. So there's really a lot that we try to bring to the table for students.
You know, these are all entertaining and they sound great, but these students, they probably won't say because they don't like to brag about themselves, Sheldon, but you know of some projects that they've done to help everybody on campus, and they have been very busy.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that oftentimes people in the community and people, many of us even on campus, forget is these are really educationally meaningful activities and things that are contributing to the lives of people on campus and in the community. We have one of the things that we really focus on is keeping our students involved. We have search committees, the Senate meetings, faculty and student staff Senate assembly. We have monthly reports to the Board of Trustees. We have opportunities for students to be very involved, and we are intentional about making sure that they have a voice on all of these groups on campus and in the community.
Let me ask a question here because, you know, I think sometimes folks outside of campus don't fully understand the relationship and how close the relationship is between student leadership and the administration of the college. You have a very direct voice when we're getting ready to set budgets that we'll propose for the coming year, and that will include student tuition and fees. Talk to me about the process that you guys go through as student government leaders in gathering input from your fellow students on what they'll pay for their education in the coming year.
It depends on the topic. Sometimes in the past we've done some different surveys to gain student input to see what fees they would support or what they think is important. Sometimes it comes down to us as representatives and just knowing our college and knowing our campus and the students and knowing what they would value. And then it's so many hard decisions and long discussions, but really just trying to figure out the best option for students, whether sometimes that's increasing a fee or adding a new fee, or sometimes cutting back to keep it affordable.
Yeah. Those fees, Corinne, you know, as a parent of a student and you as a student, I know we're all concerned about the cost of our education because, you know, we talk constantly about how education changes lives and it opens doors, and it absolutely does. You know, students, as you come through here at NIC, your life will be forever different because of your experiences here, whether you're in a certificate program or a degree program that you'll go on and transfer on. How top of mind is the overall cost of education with the students? Is it something that you're very much aware of, or you look at it as, you know, this is just an investment, whatever the cost is, I've got to do it?
Well, most students, they don't really look into what they pay for. Like, they just see that it's cheaper than a lot of other colleges. So they're like, this is smart, we're going to go for it. They don't really focus on what they're paying for. And as long as it's very affordable, I think and it's benefiting the students, then I think it's just a good opportunity just to go for it.
I think that's such a good story we have to tell at NIC, Sheldon, is what our students get for what they pay, and then what it contributes back to the community. You know, I see some of the things that these students have done just on campus in some of the projects, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that. And I think we might have some video that we can show of some of those projects they've done. They are very impressive.
Yeah, I agree, and we do have a video we'd like to show. And it demonstrates, kind of reminds us that there's a whole lot of really cool things happening on and off campus that our students are involved in serving the community, and I'll ask Chloe and Corinne to kind of walk us through and talk us through this video.
So first step, though, it's showing our ASNIC offices, which is in the upper level of the Student Union building, and we provide some massage chairs as well as some magazines just for students to sit back and relax and maybe have something to read or sit with some friends.
Now, can other members of campus get in there if there's an open chair? Because I
Vice presidents?
Yeah, I'm thinking that I might want to spend a few minutes in there one of these days.
Definitely, definitely. Also, we have our flags from, they're representing different international students that we have on campus. And this year we also expanded that program to represent other students that aren't here through the international program, but that only have citizenship with their home country.
Very good, very good. Roughly how many different countries are represented throughout our student body?
I think we're increasing the number of flags to about 40 this year. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
That's great. Very good. You've got some flagpoles out here, I know, that are a fairly new addition.
Yep. We also have some computers in the Student Union that are available to any student or anyone walking by to check their classes, their grades, email, Facebook, whatever it may be, just provided free for them to utilize any chance they get.
All included in their student fees. They don't have to pay anything additional for that.
Nope.
Oh, that's great.
This is a new soundboard that we helped Student Events purchase. As I mentioned before, Student Events puts on a lot of big shows, and the sound system they had was not good at all. And so now they're able to have some really good sound quality, and it really adds a lot to the shows and comedians that they have.
I love this program, what you're doing right here.
Yes, this is great. This was started a few years ago, ASNIC Go Green. We have about a little bit less than 20 recycling bins all over campus. We have students that go through and empty them, as you can see in this shot, and they're emptied at least once a week, if not more. And it's been so great to see how well the campus has taken to it. Everyone supports this so much, and it's really nice just to know that NIC is doing more to go green.
It's a great movement, and it just simply helps. It not only helps keep our campus looking great, but it's good for the environment and everyone around. That's a win-win right there.
Exactly. So you'll see Kyle Callistead, he's one of our senators, taking the recycling out to the bins, and then about once a month we take all of the recycled bins over to Blue Board, and they process it for us.
Corinne, Kyle's got an interesting story.
Yeah, he's actually from Chile, which is an awesome thing that we have a whole bunch of students coming from different parts of the world. Really, it's awesome.
And we believe that having international students like Kyle involved in our student leadership programs, that enriches everybody's experience, because even local students who come here and get to know Kyle and stuff, it broadens their worldview and their understanding of intercultural issues. So it really enriches everybody's experience.
You know, with the way we're becoming wired now, and we really are in a global environment, you know, it's no longer just Coeur d'Alene and Kootenai County. Yeah. It's great for our students to have that experience. So.
Definitely, definitely. These are some light poles that were added to campus. They are just safety poles, so if anyone is in trouble, they can make their way to these poles and then press a button and help will come as soon as possible. So it's really neat to have those, and they're all over campus.
Good.
This is a new boathouse for outdoor pursuits. The old one didn't have enough storage and it was falling apart, so we're glad that they have some good storage space now. This is the Outdoor Pursuits sailboat, study aboard. This is awesome. It is the greatest classroom, used for sailing classes and some trips and some just for the sailing club. It's a blast.
Now, can you take, can I request, you know, if I were a student and say I wanted to take my calculus class there, could I request that as a classroom?
Might be hard pressed to take calculus on
Sheldon,
it.
can you get that fixed
for
us?
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Well, you guys have done an awful lot. I'll tell you, it's very impressive what the students are doing. And I think it's even more impressive when you factor in that we're on a 2-year cycle here. At best, we get our students here for 2 years, maybe 2.5. There's some, oftentimes, students cut back to part-time to help balance family and jobs. You know, what kind of challenge is that in terms of consistency for your student government to find people who are willing to participate?
It's always a constant challenge at any two-year college just because students come and go, and that's the great thing about a community college. But we try not to focus on it and more embrace it, that we have new ideas constantly coming through, and same with students. They're here for a short time, give us some great ideas, some good things to work with, and then they move on to something bigger and better. And so it's really an exciting factor that sometimes is challenging, sometimes makes things hard, but it's really cool when you see all the positives to it.
Yeah, I would think, Sheldon, that new infusion of new ideas and new perspectives from your office, where you work so directly with these students, has got to be pretty invigorating on most cases.
The reality is we don't have status quo. We couldn't have it if we wanted it, because there's that constant change and new ideas and new personalities coming in, and it really makes the job really exciting and always new.
You'll have some new folks coming in as spring elections are coming up. What's the process there? How, if students are interested, or maybe folks that are home that are watching that have students that are attending here, or neighbors or someone, how do they get involved with the elections?
Right now I'm forming a committee to gather some ideas on how to get students more involved with this. And so far we've got some good ideas, maybe having like a table right outside the classroom, so as they're walking through the hallways they see, hey, there's some elections going on, I'm kind of interested, and I'm going to have the packets out really soon, beginning of March, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to have a clipboard right next to the packets so that if students are interested and grab one, I can follow up, because I know a lot of packets get taken, but not very many turn them in. So if I get on them and say, hey, are you interested? Is there any help? I mean, do you need any help? I'll be happy to help you. And so I'm sure things will change. Hopefully, I really hope that more students will get involved with this.
Good.
Mark, one of the things that I would encourage viewers to keep in mind, if your son or daughter is going to NIC or any college really, encourage people you know who are in college to get involved. All of the research shows that there's a direct correlation between how involved you get and how rich your educational experience is. And so to come into classes and leave is not nearly as rich of an experience as if you can get involved in all these other leadership and other extracurricular activities. We strongly encourage it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, Sheldon, just speaking back to that, the great thing about NIC is that there are so many more opportunities to get involved. Even though we've seen such a growth in our students who go here, there's still so many opportunities, and a lot more opportunities than you would find at maybe a four-year university. And it's really just so great. Like, I know personally, the fact that I got involved has changed everything about what I want to do with my life, who I want to be, what career I want to have. So I would encourage everyone to at least give it a chance, see if it's for you or not. But I would definitely encourage everyone to look into it.
It seems to me as we're a large enough student body that we can do a number of things. I mean, when I look at the pictures and the things that you have done, from providing flagpoles to recycling programs to bringing in different programs on campus for entertainment to starting clubs, all the things that you're doing requires a certain population in terms of mass just to get those things done. But you're small enough that someone can get involved, and that's why I think you both have said that is really the beauty of the community college, because we're small enough to still be involved but large enough to get some things done. Yeah. So thank you all so much for being here today, Chloe, Corinne, and my good fellow Vice President Sheldon. Thank you so much for being here today, and for President Bell, who gave me the opportunity to host today. I do appreciate that as well. If you get a chance, please be sure to check out our website for more information. That is www.nic.edu. And that's it for NIC today. Thank you for joining us.